Abraham had no children. His wife Sarah had been barren her whole life, and now both were old, well beyond the years of raising a family. One clear night, God spoke to Abraham. He led him outside and said, "Look up at the sky and count the stars, if indeed you can count them. So shall your offspring be." Abraham lifted his eyes. The desert night was alive with millions of stars, stretching endlessly across the heavens. In that moment, something unexplainable happened in Abraham's heart. He chose to believe God. And the Bible tells us that this simple act of faith was counted to Abraham as righteousness. But faith doesn't erase waiting. Days turned to years, and still there was no child. The promise felt distant. Sarah grew restless and discouraged. She thought perhaps she needed to help God's plan. She urged Abraham to take her maid Hagar so that through her he could at least have a son. Abraham agreed, and Hagar gave birth to Ishmael. Yet Ishmael was not the child God had promised. God's covenant was not about human shortcuts, but about his miraculous power. Then, when Abraham was 99 years old, God appeared again. He renewed his covenant and said, "I will bless Sarah and give you a son by her. She will be the mother of nations." Abraham fell on his face and laughed. Will a child be born to a man 100 years old? Will Sarah bear a child at 90? Later, Sarah herself overheard the promise. Hidden inside the tent, she laughed quietly to herself. She thought, "After I am worn out and my Lord is old, will I now have this pleasure?" But the Lord said, "Why did Sarah laugh? Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the appointed time I will return, and Sarah will have a son." The months rolled on, and then came the impossible moment. Sarah conceived, and in her old age she bore a son. They named him Isaac, which means laughter, because their doubts and disbelief had been turned into joy. Sarah declared, "God has brought me laughter, and everyone who hears about this will laugh with me." Isaac's birth was not just the answer to one couple's longing, it was the beginning of a promise that would one day lead to Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world. This story holds deep lessons for us today. 1. God's timing is perfect. Abraham and Sarah waited decades, but delay does not mean denial. What God has spoken, he will fulfill. 2. Faith is believing beyond what we can see. Abraham looked at the stars and believed, even though his situation seemed impossible. You may feel forgotten, but God is reminding you through Abraham's story. He never forget you. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily Bible stories to keep your faith strong.